So, you have now moved. Have you ever wondered whom to trust when you're in a new country? Your fellow countrymen or the locals? Let's say you've just landed in a foreign land. The air smells different, the language sounds unfamiliar, and the faces around you are unknown. It's exciting, it's thrilling, but it's also a tad bit intimidating, isn't it? The first question that pops in your head is, who can I trust in this new territory? The choice, my dear friends, is not as simple as it may seem. On one side, we have our fellow countrymen, those who speak our language, understand our customs, and share our experiences. They're a comforting sight in an unfamiliar place, a slice of home in a foreign land. They can guide us, help us navigate through the cultural nuances, and provide a safety net of sorts. But can we always rely on them? And do we end up constraining ourselves within a bubble, missing out on the full experience? On the other side, we have the locals, the true inhabitants of the land. They hold the keys to the city, the secrets of the streets, and the stories of the soil. They can introduce us to traditions, foods, and experiences that are unique to the place. And let's not forget, these interactions enrich us, broaden our perspectives, and make us global citizens. But can we trust them completely? Are we prepared for the cultural shock, the language barriers, and the possibility of being taken advantage of? It's a dilemma, indeed. A choice between the comfort of familiarity and the thrill of the unknown. A decision that could shape your journey, your experiences, and your memories. A predicament that could either limit you or liberate you. And the decision, my friends, rests solely upon your shoulders. So, do you stick with your fellow countrymen, or do you embrace the locals? Do you hold on to the known, or do you delve into the unknown? The answer isn't as straightforward as it might seem. As you can imagine, I felt so comforted when I found and met people from my country who had also moved here for various reasons, years before me. It felt comforting and less scary for a while until it didn't. When you're in unfamiliar territory, the mere sound of your native language, the shared cultural references, or even the familiar accent can feel like a warm, comforting blanket. It's as if you've stumbled upon a piece of home, a tiny oasis of familiarity in a vast desert of the unknown. There's a sense of immediate connection, a shared understanding, a common thread that tied us together, and that can be incredibly comforting. It's like finding a lighthouse amidst a stormy sea, a beacon of familiarity guiding you through the choppy waters of uncertainty. I called them for advice on everything. After all, they had gone through this same experience before me, and I craved their expert advice and counsel. Some of them were forthcoming, others were more standoffish, not giving any concrete advice. I went to them for things like what hospital they would recommend, to where to buy familiar foods from home. I asked for advice on realtors to use and what restaurants served the best dishes from home. You see, I had chosen to stay within our continent, with the hope and belief that the culture shock wouldn't be too great. As you know, these decisions should have helped ease me into my new environment. There's a certain comfort that comes from associating with your fellow countrymen in a foreign land. It's a natural human instinct to gravitate towards what we know, what feels safe and familiar. It can help ease the transition, make the new environment feel less daunting. But here's the question we must ask ourselves. Is this comfort always beneficial? Does it always serve our best interests? Could it perhaps be a double-edged sword? Does it help us integrate into our new environment quicker, or does it keep us stuck in an echo chamber of familiarity? Is this comfort always beneficial? Let's delve deeper. On the other hand, have you thought about the thrill and learning that comes with immersing yourself in a new culture? Imagine for a moment stepping outside of your comfort zone, opening your mind and heart to the unknown. There's a whole world out there, filled with people who are different from you, yet in many ways so very much alike. Consider this story that I experienced. Due to my complexion and accent, I was automatically presumed to be foreigner by the locals. So I had to gain the trust and loyalty of one of the said locals to help me negotiate every time there was a purchase to be made. The cost was always inflated since they knew I wasn't one of them. However, this experience was mostly limited to the artisans and people below a certain income bracket. The professionals and higher income bracket earners were much more easy to work with. Most of them, who had also traveled beyond their shores, knew it was unacceptable to take advantage of people for a quick buck. They were accommodating, helpful, and open to giving advice. They were willing to introduce me to their workers or artisans that they felt would be of benefit to me in any way. So most of the locals, in their own way, welcomed me with open arms. So remember, there are countless expats around the world who have chosen to trust locals, to embrace the new, and have been rewarded with experiences that are truly enriching. They've formed deep connections, learned new languages, discovered new cuisines, and have understood in a profound way the essence of human commonality that transcends borders and cultures. But embracing the new is not just about trusting the locals. It's about trusting yourself, your instincts, your ability to adapt and grow. It's about stepping into the unknown with an open mind and a willing heart. Trusting my instinct. This is one point I had to learn the hard way. The world is a mosaic of cultures, each one a unique piece that adds to the beauty of the whole. By embracing the new, you get to be part of this mosaic, adding your own color and texture to the mix. You get to learn, to grow, to evolve. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? But it's not always as rosy as it seems. There's always a flip side to every coin, isn't there? As we explore the idea of trust in a new country, we must also delve into the potential pitfalls of both approaches. On one hand, when you lean on your fellow countrymen, you might end up in a comfort zone that's hard to break free from. It's easy to get stuck in a bubble, interacting only with people from a familiar background. This can limit your opportunities to fully embrace your new environment. Additionally, it can also open doors for manipulation. There are always a few who, aware of your unfamiliarity with the new surroundings, might take advantage of your trust. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's a reality we cannot ignore. On the other hand, diving headfirst into the local culture can lead to its own set of challenges. The most immediate one is, of course, culture shock. The customs, traditions, and way of life might seem alien and confusing. You might struggle to understand the social cues, the unspoken rules, the local lingo. Miscommunication can lead to misunderstandings and even conflicts. You might feel isolated, misunderstood, and overwhelmed. Furthermore, locals might also have preconceived notions about you based on your nationality or ethnicity. These stereotypes can affect the way they interact with you, and in my case it unfortunately did. It can be a daunting task to break through these barriers. It's like learning to dance a complicated dance where you're always one step behind. But it's not all doom and gloom. These challenges are also opportunities for growth, for learning, for resilience. They can push you to be more adaptable, more understanding, more open-minded. They can teach you to navigate different cultures, to communicate effectively, to build bridges and break down walls. So, what's the best approach? Is there a middle ground? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer, as with most things in life, is not black and white. Let's delve into that in our next segment. Finding the right balance, as with many things in life, might just be the key. In this part of my story, I explore the concept of equilibrium, preserving the connection with my compatriots while also immersing myself in the local culture. This is no mean feat, but it's achievable, and countless expatriates can attest to the richness it adds to one's life. Let's consider this story. A fellow countryman who has been here for over 25 years, who has several businesses, introduced me to a local while I was house hunting. After payment, I discovered the property I paid for was not what I would have leased in a normal situation. The location and the neighbors were questionable, to say the least. So I was stuck there for a year, trying to make the best of the situation until I finally found my ideal house in an estate with like-minded people. That was me, trusting someone who was my countryman, who didn't look out for me the way I had expected. My instinct was totally ignored in that situation, and I absolutely paid for it. Now with my new place, another countryman who used to live here introduced me to a local, and without even meeting this said local, I was directed to view my new house. This time, after trusting, I listened to my instinct, checked everything. I now live in a lovely house, 15 mins from the beach. But striking this balance is not just about trusting and language, it's about valuing the new without losing sight of the old. It's about embracing change while remembering your roots. It's about expanding your horizons without losing your identity. In essence, it's about creating a harmonious blend of the familiar and the unfamiliar, the old and the new, the comfortable and the challenging. It's about creating a sense of home that's both comforting and stimulating, familiar and fresh. And the secret? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Each person's balance will look different, influenced by their unique experiences, values, and aspirations. It's a personal journey, a delicate dance between the past and the future. In the end, the choice is personal and depends on what feels right for you. But remember, a new country is an opportunity for new experiences, new people, and new beginnings.